Hola, buenos tardes.
Buenos días, buenas tardes.
Okay, I'm obviously here with xPeke from fnatic. Going to do one of my Grilled interviews with him. The first place, I mean, you've talked about this in a million interviews, but it's Season 1 Championship. That's why I want to start with you, because that's really where like the xPeke story starts. Because what people don't seem to remember when I look into like the context of people's reaction at the time when you won Season 1, people think now, okay, the fnatic name, famous from CS, they think of fnatic now, okay, so fnatic's now got all these famous players, you're top of LCS almost. What people forget is that in the early days of League of Legends, your team wasn't like the favourite to win the Season 1 Championship. In fact, when I looked into it, you got beaten in the group stage by Epic Gamer, by Against All Authority, and these are the teams you had to beat on the way to winning the Season 1 Championships. So going into that tournament, what I saw was like people thought like CLG would win, or you know, maybe TSM would win. These were like the teams that people were billing as like the top dogs. I mean, was your team like an underdog at the time? Like what was the experience like in that sense?
I think we were not an underdog, but we were probably not the strongest team, or not considered the strongest team. People was thinking, as you said, TSM, CLG will come to Europe and beat us, because everyone was saying America is the best, NA is the best, because they won the first double CE that was ever made. But at that time, we were not even playing. We were kind of a new team. They never faced us. So they kind of underestimated us. They thought we were bad or something like that. And in group stage, the funny thing is I wasn't there in group stage because my flight got delayed. So we played with a stand-in, which was normally he's a support player and he played mid lane. So that's why it went so bad in group stage. But they made it out of group stage, and I arrived the next day. And our first game was against CLG. We were with 1 game disadvantage because we got third on group.
Yeah.
So we had to beat them twice, and we were kind of scared, like, we're probably gonna go out now, but well, at least let's try, let's have fun, let's play our best, and that's it. And suddenly we came into that game and everyone was really motivated because I was there. We wanted to win and we completely destroyed them. Like first game we destroyed them, they had no chance. And second game was a bit closer, but we beat them as well, like 2-0. They didn't expect that at all, and we were really happy after that. We were super happy with CLG, which were really cocky at that time, and for us that was already so great to beat them. We didn't even think we would win all the thing, but after that we just kept going. One more game, Epic Gamer, as you say. It was kind of hard. Epic Gamer were really strong at that time, and I think I'm not sure if we lost 1 game against them.
I don't think so.
But we almost lost 1 game. We managed to come back. I think we were losing and we came back, and we beat them 2-0, and we were like not believing it. Like, we're in the finals and we're facing AAA in the upper bracket finals, and we beat them 2-1 in the upper bracket finals, and we were like, man, we can win this thing. At that time it was like 50k.
I think so, yeah.
50k first place. It wasn't that big, but for us it was like the biggest thing ever. Like compared to play Go for LOLs, 100 euros every weekend, to play a tournament for 50k, that was like crazy for us. Like, I'm gonna win more money than I have made in all my life until then. So we were really crazy about it, and we couldn't believe that we were in the final at all, and winning it was even more crazy.
What's so strange when you look back to that final now is that now that you got Yellowstar into fnatic, actually 4 out of these 5 players played in that final. Like Yellowstar and sOAZ were on AAA, and then you and Cyanide were on fnatic. Yeah. For people who've only been following LoL like 6 months or a year, like were sOAZ and Yellowstar like top players back then? Like how good did you actually think they were at that time?
Okay, at that time I think sOAZ and Yellowstar were really good. They were probably like the best of AAA. I remember sOAZ was really strong player. They had, their weakness was maybe the mid lane a bit and the support. Okay. But Yellowstar was the best AD carry at that time of Europe, and sOAZ was not the best, but he was one of the best. He could play mid lane and top lane, because at that time we didn't have really a mid laner, we were swapping. And he was really good at it, and we always had him in mind. Like, a great player would be cool to play with him and stuff, but we never did it until this year. And yeah, some people don't know that at that time we were the 2 finalists of the Season 1, but that's it, that's like a mixed team of Season 1.
You mentioned there, like you beat CLG along the way, and they were like very much hyped as like the potential winners. And at the IEMs you played next, you played them as well. They won one of the IEMs, the Cologne I think it was, and then you also played them at New York as well, was the one where you won. Since when I look back, people always remember that period of time before 2012 as, okay, CLG was the best team, like overall. And then this was also the time when Hotshot GG was like the star of LoL, you know, people were saying he was the best player and whatnot. When you think back to that CLG team, their mid laner, this guy bigfatlp, when I talk to other mid laners, they're like very complimentary. They say like he was really good back then. Like Froggen even told me he used to like watch his games and like he was like thought this guy was the best. But obviously in later days he wasn't doing so well. He sort of got removed from the team in the end. Like it didn't go very well. So was he actually? I mean, since you got to play him a bunch, what was he actually like as a player? Was he good? Like, what do you remember of then?
Well, at the beginning, I gotta say I was scared of facing him. Like, of course, I never played him. Everyone talk a lot about him, and of course you're gonna expect him to be super good. But I think because of that, I played better than I normally play. I gave my best, and it was actually like during the game I was playing super good. But after the game, I'm like, man, that was actually easy because I gave my best, and maybe he was not giving the best of him. And for me, he wasn't the strongest player to lane against. Okay. But he's a good player, and I think CLG at that time were really good. As you say, Hotshot was doing great, bigfatlp was doing great. Their bottom lane was like Chauster and Elements at that time.
Yeah, I think so, yeah.
Yeah, when they got xPeke in jungle, they were doing great at that time, but I don't know why they decided to change the lineup. They kicked xPeke, I think.
Yeah.
That was their first mistake, I think. Like xPeke was a great jungler, and kicking him, after kicking him is when they started to go down, and they didn't know what to do. They even put Chauster in the jungle, and I think that's the wrong choice. He's a good player, he knows what to do, but I don't think that's his role. So yeah, you can see right now that they seem kind of lost sometimes. They seem like a solo queue players that play together, and they do some games, they do bad some games, and only Double Leaf is pretty much doing great every game.
Another one of the North American teams who, just going even further forward in your career, you played TSM a few times. And so they're very famous for their mid laner, Reginald. Like obviously personality is very big, but also he's considered like a star mid laner from North America. People say like if he carries the lane, he wins the game from his team. If he doesn't, then they lose. Since you've played him a few times, like what is it actually like to lane against him?
Well, the way he plays is like when you see it, it doesn't seem that good, but when you play against him, he plays really aggressive. The thing is, he doesn't care about anything. One-on-one, it's really easy to win a one-on-one if you're not scared of the enemy jungler, because you just abuse the other guy, do whatever you want, and that's why he will win the game. If he does that and you don't stop him with the jungler, for example, he will just go on you and win the lane one-on-one. But that's the problem. If you start your jungler, he's playing pushing all the time the lane, he's just ganking one and he dies, and that happens, then he's just gonna lose the lane, and after that just gonna snowball the game.
When you guys brought sOAZ into your team, so you'd played against him when he was in AAA, and then you brought him in like sort of like midway through 2012, I think it was, and so you've actually played with him for quite a while now, like maybe 9 or 10 months. He actually, it never seemed like he got that much attention even within your team, even though people like players thought he was really good. But it seems like this whole all-star thing has actually like raised his level a lot more, because people used to think of Wicked as the best top laner, but now obviously you saw a lot of fans went for sOAZ instead. Like what are sOAZ's strengths, and from playing with him, what does he do like when you're in a team? Like how does it affect your role to have him up there? Like what is it like in that sense?
Okay, the thing with sOAZ is that he was never that famous. He was maybe known, like people know sOAZ, so he's player from AAA, French player or something like that. But he never streamed, he was never a big figure in the sport, never really famous, so he didn't have a big fan base, only like French and some Europeans, so people didn't really know how good he was. Meanwhile, Wicked was really known in Europe, he was the most famous top laner, even in America and probably even in Asia he was really well known. So everyone was thinking that like Wicked is the best, Wicked is the best. But with all this LCS giving so much attention to every player, they realized that sOAZ is actually really good. He does great every game, and with the All-Star thing you can see that sOAZ is getting a lot more recognition, and he's a great player. I think for me he's the best top laner.
Just overall?
In Europe at least. we have it. The thing is, when we face Asians, we always swap lane, so I have no idea how he's in one-on-one against Asians.
In terms of your style at mid lane, okay, so it's very popular amongst fans. Like I think they think it's so, because it's so exciting. They don't know what to expect for you, what you're going to do. But at the same time, that can also be like a downside, because then people just think like you're making up what you're going to do at all times. Like, oh, I just decide I'm going to go over here now. Almost like a solo queue player would do if he doesn't care about his team, you know. So how much of your great plays and your risky moves that you do, how much is actually planned out before? Like you tell your team, like, I'm going to do this and you guys build it around me, and how much is it within the game you just are allowed to do whatever you want? How much is which?
Well, the way we work is like we have a strategy, but we allow everyone to add something. Like, let's say I feel confident with one hero that we haven't practiced at all, like Acer AD. I played in LCS against SK, and we practiced like 1 or 2 games, but I played a lot in solo queue, and I told them, I'm confident with this hero, I know I'm gonna do good, and I have played a lot in this matchup, I know it will work, so let me play it. And they are like fine, they ask me, you sure you're fine with it? And they let me do it. And yeah, that might be something like solo queue player, but if you're confident and you know you will do good with it, I think it's good to change the strategy a bit, because you cannot have only one strategy. It changes a lot during bans and pick. You might have some ideas and then they ban perfect heroes that you wanted to pick, and you have to completely change everything. So I think it's really good if you know what to pick in any different situation.
If we look at a lot of the teams who have a very strong mid laner, like that's their carry player, a lot of the time that player, even if he doesn't make all the calls, he makes like the calls for himself. Like, okay, here's what I'm going to do now, and then people build off that. But when I looked at your team, okay, so when I did an interview with Ocelot and he was telling me about Yellowstar, he was very complimentary about the fact that he said Yellowstar is really good at doing calls from AD carry. And I've also read that sOAZ sometimes makes calls in your team. So is it that everyone's making calls, or is it that like for example, are these players ever telling you what to do in mid lane, etc.?
No, everyone makes calls in our team. Like, we don't have a leader. Like in laning phase, it's like everyone has to take care of himself. For example, I check my mid lane mostly and jungle. I tell Cyanide all the time when he can do stuff in mid lane or when is it possible. As he asks as well, can we invade the enemy red? And then I check if it's possible for me to be stronger than the other mid laner. So it's like everyone saying what they see or what is possible or what they want to do, and everyone follow up to that. And of course sometimes you might go crazy, like I do it sometimes. I don't think about it. For example, when I backdoor or something, I just see the moment and I tell them, I'm going now, just back, don't die. And normally they react really well, and they know how, we are used to it, so they know how to deal with it. They don't get caught, I just go for it and they stay back. So I think it's just that everyone has the same mindset, kind of. We all lead, we all give a bit of information, and we play as a team. We don't have anyone saying what to do normally. It's like everyone saying what they see.
When you think about your teams, like, okay, so at the end of 2011 you had this success, you won the Season 1, you won this IEM. Then after that, as 2012 began, you had this kind of like the worst period of your career basically, where like results weren't going very well. And so you had to sort of like one by one take apart pieces, like, okay, we're putting a different player here, and gradually like then you built it back up again. It went really well towards the end of the year. So the interesting thing is there a degree to which having so much early success early on kind of made you stick with one lineup too long? Is that the case at all? Because I mean, if people even talk about some of those players that you removed, they still only really mention the Season 1 champ. Oh yeah, that player won Season 1. They haven't really done that much since. So is it the case that like the success there made you hang on a bit too long?
Yeah, the thing is, we were playing together for a long time, and winning so much got us really close, because after winning we were traveling a lot together, we were winning everything, so we became really good friends and we were used to winning. So as you said, it gave some problems when someone was playing worse. Instead of telling him, if you keep playing like this, you're gonna be out of the team, we were like really friends, like come on, try to play better. And it became more than a team, it became a friend team, like just playing for fun and being friends. And yeah, that's the problem, that we didn't want to kick anyone, and we didn't kick anyone for so long, like 6 months, just failing and keep trying and trying more, even longer. And at some point it was like too much, because yeah, we lost for 7 months or 8 months, I think we lost everything. We even failed to qualify to other tournaments like IEM Kiev, another IEM I think we didn't go to, Shanghai or Guangzhou. That was in 2011. Yeah. And yeah, at some point we were like, well, we need to start changing something, because either we change something or we are all going to end up quitting the game, because we cannot do anything. We're not winning anything, we're not doing good. So we have to do something. And we started, as you say, slowly, saying, okay, let's replace this first, then Melissan decided to quit himself because he knew he didn't want to put that much effort, so he said it himself, like, I'm just gonna quit myself, you don't have to worry about me, I want to study, I don't want to play LoL anymore, so I can play with you until you find a new player. And that's why we asked Enrique to play with us. Then Lamia quit as well because he wanted to move to Taiwan to study with his girlfriend and live there. So we pretty much only kicked sOAZ. We didn't kick anyone else. The other two players decided to live by themselves. And yeah, after that it was really good. We were like a new team. We were wanting to win. We had sOAZ, Chris, and we were looking for an AD carry pretty badly because we didn't have anyone. And we found Rekkles, which he couldn't play LCS. We knew that, but we were still without anyone better than him. So we were like, okay, let's play with him meanwhile and see how it goes. And I think that made everyone improve because we had a fresh new team. Everyone was motivated to win. And suddenly we became super good. Like, we were losing a lot of scrims, and 2 weeks after we went to Dreamhack, we won it. Then 1 week after we went to IPL, we got second place. It was really close that we didn't get first. We played a bit bad against Rekkles, but still second place was good. And yeah, we were like pretty much back on the top again, kinda, and motivated. Everyone was playing good. I don't know. It felt again like back to season 1, and more than friends, we were again a team that instead of being together because we were friends, we were together because we wanted to win.
This is like a difficult topic, I think, for fans to understand, because on one hand, if you're pros and you become friends on top of it, it's great because it makes everything better. But on the other hand, I think sometimes fans like sort of vilify people who kick people out of teams too much because they're thinking of it like friends, like people they play with. What they're not realizing is, like, if your friend was then costing you the chance to win some big tournament, eventually you have to kick him out if he's not going to be serious, you know. And so the reason I ask is because, like the topic I mentioned before, I've seen in pro sports teams, say you have a team who win a championship, okay, so at one point they were the best, but then for years later, sometimes they don't make like the change that they need to, because in their minds, they're always thinking of that guy who's their teammate, like, oh, he could still pull it out, like he could still do what I remember him doing, even if he isn't now, you know. The reason I ask is because as LoL gets bigger and bigger, and like the prize purses are like millions of dollars, etc., well, you guys like didn't manage to qualify for season 2, for example. This was like the biggest tournament at the time in the history of, and you had to sit at home with it. If a scenario happened, like we're not talking about a specific player, but if a scenario happened where a player wasn't able to perform anymore, do you think like you can bridge that problem of being friends and actually like, could you remove a player? Would you actually be like quicker to do it? Like, what have you ever thought about this?
Well, if it happened again, it depends. Like right now, yeah, in my mind it's more like we're not gonna kick one guy for one bad tournament, even if it's 10 million tournament. He has one bad day, you cannot just kick him for that. But let's say you see it coming. Like, he's playing bad for a month, scrims he's doing bad, in tournaments he's doing bad, and then it comes to that big tournament and he does bad again. Then I don't think I will be able to hope that he will improve anymore. I will tell him, you have until the next week or a couple of weeks or month to improve. If you don't, then you're not taking it serious or you don't want to or something, and we need to take someone else. Because yeah, it was, as you said, season 2 was so big, and sitting in home, it was kind of sad because that's what we work for a lot, and losing that, it feels so bad because you think you could have done better, and then when you think you lose because of some player or because someone did bad, then you feel even worse, and more if it's a friend, you don't want to like tell him. So I don't know, I think being friends is cool, but as you said, it can be really bad as well at the same time if you do bad, because you remember season 1, when sOAZ was doing great, his first place, then he does bad, and then you're always hoping, when he has one game, you're like happy, thinking, oh, he's doing good again, but then he does bad again, and then you're like hoping that he will do good again, and it becomes really annoying.
If we look at the storyline of Fnatic, so this period here where you didn't qualify for season 2, because that was such a big story, like, okay, the season 1 champs don't even qualify to go into the season 2 final, it then meant that when you got Rekkles and you beat CLG in this final of Dreamhack, because of CLG's storyline, like they were always a top team for that period, people were thinking, they weren't thinking, oh, Fnatic's really good, they were thinking, oh, what happened to CLG? They did really badly that they lost this game. Yeah. It was only then when you went to IPL, everyone was like, oh wow, actually Fnatic's really, really good now. Like, at this time when you'd beaten CLG, were you like already like right up there at the top? Was it like a curve going up to IPL? Like, what was it like in that sense?
Yeah, I think it started slowly. Like, we were screaming, as I said, and we're not doing that great. We were doing fine, but we were not thinking we will be able to to beat CLG. We were invited to IPL already, but we were not sure if we wanted to go because we were like, well, we don't really want to go there if we're gonna lose early or something because it's a long travel and we prefer to get prepared first before going to a tournament. But then we went to Dreamhack and we won it. And after we played like we did there, we were like, okay, we want to go to IPL now. We did really good. We're super motivated, and I think winning Dreamhack started everything because, yeah, after that we just wanted to go to IPL and we didn't want to do bad. So everyone was giving their best. Everyone was practicing super hard. Like every day we were doing boot camp, playing since we wake up until we got to sleep, non-stop. And we wanted to beat TPA in IPL. Pretty much that was our aim. And that's what we did. We beat them 4 times in IPL and lost 0 to them. So that felt really good, like Season 1 versus Season 2 champions. Rematch.
So if you hadn't won this Dreamhack final, do you think you probably would have skipped IPL?
Probably. If it depends. If we made it to the finals and lost to CLG in a close game, maybe we would have gone. But I think winning it motivated everyone a lot. And I think that's what we needed, like some motivation boost to want to improve and to go to IPL and win it.
You mentioned Taipei Assassins there, okay, so when you guys faced them, like, yeah, it was cool that it was Season 1 versus Season 2, but obviously it's the fact that they just won Season 2 was so, making them so hyped, you know, and it's not like they won an easy bracket. They beat like Naj and Sword, Moscow 5, Frost. This was like an all-star cast. So when you actually came to face them, like, had you actually put in a lot of research to them? Because you're saying here, like, it was sort of last minute to go to the event. Like, how much did you actually know about their style and all the rest of it? Had you studied the Season 2?
Well, we didn't know a lot about them. Like, we watched the games from Season 2, all of them. We watched what's, like, their stronger players, their stronger heroes, or the most annoying heroes. Like, we ban Anivia, I think, because like, we hate to play against it. We ban Oriana. We know Toyz play a lot of passive heroes, mid lane to farm, and then to be good in teamfights. So we won pretty much all of them. And at that point I was playing a lot of Katarina, which counter TF, and we know they love TF. So we just bait them into that. We let TF open for them to pick it, they do it, and we pretty much stumped them with that. And I think after that, after winning the first game, they went a bit down, like, oh shit, we thought they were bad and they just beat us kind of hard. And we were feeling the opposite, that we just beat them really hard, let's do it again. And after that, you could see that they were not playing the same, they were scared, and we were doing whatever we wanted, controlling the game, and we won every match pretty easily, kind of, you can say.
Their team's actually quite known for like a strategical approach. Like if you ever watch them play like the Garena stuff, etc., they seem quite good at it. Well, the thing is, when they beat Moscow 5 at this Season 2, it seemed like Moscow 5 were really thrown off by their style. Like they hadn't expected it and they didn't know how to counter it, etc. What in your mind is like the secret to beating Taipei Assassins? Like what things should a team do, or what do you have to be prepared for?
Yeah, I think Asians love a lot to, they like a lot to split push. That's why we kind of do it now. We went to Korea for a short period, for 2 months to OGN, and we were screaming Koreans, and they were so annoying with the split push all the game, all day long. Like you are winning, and suddenly they start split push and win the game. And I think from that I learned a lot that that's the best. Like you can do play with a team when they are good in team fights. Just split them, and they will end up making a mistake. And that's something that if you're not prepared, if you're not used to split push, they can do that to you. Then you're just gonna go into their game, try to fight them, and they are way better than you at that, and they're gonna beat you like they did with M5.
Since you mentioned Toyz there, when you actually play against him in the mid lane, like you've played nearly all the great mid laners, like you played Froggen, you played xPeke. Like how does he compare to the European ones that you've played so many times? Like what are his strengths? What does he have that's unique?
Well, he was able to farm all the games. Like it didn't matter if we were ahead, he was good at farming. So I guess that's good for a mid laner, that even if you are behind, you are always able to be useful for your team, keep up in farm, in items. So that was his good point, I guess. Like it didn't matter if we were winning, if I was able to beat him, he was still useful for the team. And I think that's the best thing you can have in a player. Someone that even if he's doing bad, he's useful, he's not being bad for his team.
During Season 2, if you'd have had a similar all-star vote to what we had now, I'm pretty sure Froggen would have won the mid for Europe, because even though xPeke's team was winning everything, people said, oh no, it's as a team they're really amazing. Whereas even when CLG did well, a lot of people would say, oh no, Froggen just carries them, you know, that was like the stereotype. And so the idea was that skills-wise, Froggen was supposedly the best at mid. Now, because he does badly, it seems like even when he does pretty decently, still skill-wise, still has good stats, etc. Now people say, oh, he's not as good at mid now. Like, what is Froggen like at his peak, and like how close is he to it now? Like, is he still carrying from mid?
I think so. I think he's still probably the best player of mid lane mechanically. Like, he's super good. The difference is that people has improved a lot. I remember I improved a lot just by playing against him. Because you learn a lot. When you are doing bad, you should, when the other guy is owning you, you should learn from him, and that's what I was doing. When I was losing to him, I was just checking everything he does and kind of copying it or try to learn from it.
What type of things did you pick up?
Just random stuff. Like, at that point, it was not usual to be sneaky, like pretend to, for example, I remember this time, he did it once to me, like, my team was having a fight on top lane, like 3v3, and he went like completely running to top lane, and I thought he was going there, so I followed him to try to help my team, and he just waited for me and killed me. And that was something really stupid, but at that point you wouldn't think about that. It's something smart but stupid, and I wouldn't think about it. And after that I tried to learn from it, and I remember we played in 5, and I did completely the same to Alex, and he fell for it and I killed him, the same way Froggen did to me. And stuff like that make you improve and make you learn. So I think Froggen is exactly the same, but people improve. So now, if you see him going top lane and you have no vision, you wouldn't follow blindly without any idea. You will take the safe way, or you will warn your team and keep pushing. And I think just people improve, but he's really good still. And I think Froggen, if he went to the Yellowstar, he would have done as great as Alex is as well.
Since we mentioned IPL already, and we mentioned the Taipei wins, but then the one team who beat you at this tournament was World Elite. And this quite famous, this tournament, because they actually sort of ran over the whole tournament. They just beat everyone up, and it seemed like no one could beat them. What was like, if we look at the tournaments before that, they were like a good team. They would place like quarterfinals or something, or they would be good, but they were never considered like the best. Like, what changed? Like, what was so difficult about playing versus World Elite at that tournament, at least?
Well, World Elite has won a lot of tournaments. Like, even the Season 2 finals, they lost to CLG at that time, CLG.EU, but you gotta say that they lost in an unlucky way, because they had like this long game that kept getting DC and restarting, so it could have gone way different. Like, let's say they would have won that game, they could have won the whole thing of Season 2. So I don't think they were a bad team and they improved. I think they were always great, and they have like this synergy as a team that is just crazy. Like, they can be losing lanes, but they know when to group perfectly, they know what to do. And that's what makes them so strong. Like, it doesn't matter if you're beating them, they know it, and they change their strategy. Let's say you're one-on-one their mid lane, you're beating him, so he just moves from mid lane, he doesn't care, he goes help other lane, and they're really good at it. They know how to move as a team.
The thing about their team as well is, if you look at a lot of teams and you're really harsh, like you don't try and big up any players, you say, okay, so some teams, like a rare example, like CLG, people would say, okay, they only have one star player, they have the AD carry. Then in a lot of the European teams, they have like, okay, a lot of them have like a star top and a star mid. But the thing about World Elite is, you could actually sort of say they have a star at top, they have mid and AD carry. Like, is this really true? Like, do they have more threats than other teams, do you think?
Yeah, you could say that. That's what I meant before. Like, if some of their players is failing, he can rely on his team, because he knows he has the AD carry is gonna do good, so he's just gonna try to, even if he's failing, he's gonna try to help his AD carry to get ahead, and then he's gonna carry for him, or he's gonna go top lane. And I think that's true. They are all really good, skilled individual players, and they know how to play together really good.
Especially in Europe, where we've got so many good mid players, it can often be the case, at least in the old meta, that if you won your lane mid, or you were winning your lane, you know, like, my team's probably winning the game, we're probably going to win the game overall. But when you play against someone like Misaya from World Elite, and he has like this beastly AD carry down here, has a good top player, etc., like, how does it change the matchup of how you're thinking about just the 1v1 matchup, when you know like there's other threats there as well?
Yeah, that's the thing. I have played him, and I remember one of the games in IPL, he was actually like 1-4 or 1-3 or something like that, but he was still useful for his team. Like, as I said, he had farm, and he knew he would lose mid lane, so he was just trying to push really fast and go help other lanes. So it was like that. Like, the jungler was bought Oracle, and he was trying to take all the vision from us, and the mid lane was, instead of trying to farm and get ahead, he was trying to give advantage to someone else from his team. And it's stuff like that you maybe don't expect. You will think that he's so behind that he's gonna try to just farm a lot to come back in the game, but instead he was trying to guide other lanes, and it worked for them. It's just stuff like that. It becomes annoying, because even if you are beating him, he's still useful.
Whenever a team's been doing not so good and they bring in a player and they do well, people unfortunately always do like a really simplistic explanation. Okay, so that player must be the star who made them win. So obvious examples would be like, okay, so SK beats CLG at the regional finals. Oh, it must be RNA, it's like some superstar player. And then even when they brought in Hercubot, like suddenly they're doing much better in LCS. Oh, he must be the reason why. Well, it's easy for people to try and say this about Fnatic when you had this hot period at the end of 2011, because Rekkles comes in, suddenly your team beats CLG, you go to IPL, you do really well. But as much as people were saying, oh, Rekkles is the reason, I actually heard that Chauster from CLG, he actually sort of downplayed Rekkles. Like he said like, oh, Rekkles is good, but you can't compare him to someone like Doublelift, because Doublelift is like the star who has to carry his team, whereas Rekkles has this really good top player, he has this really good mid player, so it's like a different style for him. Is there any merit to what Chauster says there? Like how much was Rekkles actually like part of winning the whole thing? Well, doing so well.
Well, he did a lot. Of course he was really good. I don't think, maybe it's not like CLG, they have Doublelift. If he doesn't do good, they're gonna lose. Okay, but we have maybe that thing like World Elite, that we had a good top laner, a good mid laner, a good bottom lane. So it was really good. And yeah, it was not just him coming to the team, I improved a lot, because when he joined and we did good, I got so motivated, I wanted to improve more, and I improved a lot. And I think everyone did improve a lot, and yeah, it didn't matter. It was like that, like when we were playing with Rekkles, it felt like it didn't matter if he was doing bad. If I was doing good, I know when we came to team fights, he will be useful and we will do good. So I wouldn't say he was bad, I would say he was really good, and Rekkles was perfect for our team because he was feeling our team play so good.
As far as Rekkles goes, you're in kind of a really weird situation now where it's like almost a good problem to have, which is that, okay, so you had Rekkles like waiting there, like, oh, he's not old enough to play yet. So everyone assumed, well, because of these great results, no matter who they bring in, they'll just wait until Rekkles is old enough, then he'll come in as the AD. Like, it seemed simple. Well, now it's almost like you've had too much success with Yellowstar now. Things have gone so well, like you're near the top of LCS, you might win this season. The people are going to ask and they're going to wonder, like, well, what happens then when Rekkles is old enough? Because obviously you can't say now, like, oh, well, I'll just kick out Yellowstar, like, well, he's still in the team. But even so, like, it's obviously a problem that, like, the two people are there and they've both done well. So what do you think of when you think of the topic?
Well, we just don't think about it. Like, what we say is that we can't, it's a problem, it's a big problem. We cannot know what to do. Like, people ask and some of them assume we're going to keep Yellowstar. Some of them are like, you're going to keep Yellowstar. And we have no idea. Like, what we say, like, Cyanide, for example, says, like, we cannot know. Maybe at that time, xPeke is the one sucking and we have to kick him. And so it's like no idea. You cannot know what's going to happen. Because he's going to be in September, he's going to be able to play. It's still of the summer. And I don't know, if we're doing good with Yellowstar, we cannot just kick him. So we will probably keep him. But at that point, we will have to check. Obviously, we will take Rekkles as a sub if you want to be, for sure. And then wait and see if he can join the team at some point. But I don't think we will kick anyone if we're doing good with it, just because we remember the other player was better or something.
But I mean, you have to admit, like this, even if you say, oh no, listen, Yellowstar, you're a good part of the team, obviously there's sort of an unspoken pressure on him. Like, he knows if he doesn't do very well, there's someone waiting here who will come in. I mean, this has to be true. So.
Yeah, of course, I guess he will have more pressure, but I guess that's good for him. Like, it will be good for me to know that if I do bad, someone is gonna take, because for me at least it would motivate me to not do bad. Okay. So I don't know how it's gonna be for him. I hope he gets motivated by that and improves and do better. He has improved a lot since he joined us already, so I think he's good and he will keep improving. I hope he does.
How do the two players differ, Rekkles and Yellowstar? Like, how as players they're different? How in terms of how you use them in the team is it different?
The thing is, with Rekkles we had more team fight orientated composition, because he was really good in team fights. He was always picking a good late game carry. Just going, even if we were not doing that great, we were going into team fights. And if he had 1 or 2 kills from that team fight, he will be able to carry and to be really useful. And with Yellowstar it's a bit different. Like in team fights, maybe he's not like super, like not a real AD carry that he will win the team fight by himself, but more like he does good in lane. And then in team fights we have a different strategy, not like going to a team fight and beat them, but more like know where to go, what to do, and split push and not get caught and stuff like that. I think, yeah, it's a bit different. Rekkles at that moment was better, but I don't know. It's just different. I think he was better.
When we talk about Moscow 5, and so obviously, well, Gambit now, when you've played them a lot in LCS, It's easy to say, okay, Alexic is obviously a very good mid player, but at the same time, their team is also so famous for the whole team being like a really great like team play unit, etc. And strategically, they seem very good. Like, just based on the games you've played against him, how would you actually rate his just individual skills? If you take away all the team stuff, like is he like what is his strength as an actual mid laner?
Well, he's really good. At first, I remember when we started playing them, I didn't really see him as the big player from the team. It was more like Diamond, and well, it's still Diamond, but he's really good. And like when I have faced him in solo queue, it's not like he's doing bad or something. He's doing really good. And
what are his strengths?
His strength, I don't know. I think the pressure he puts a lot. He's used to play with Diamond a lot, and the playstyle was a lot about pressuring early. And I think he puts a lot of pressure. Like he's not afraid of pushing the lane. If you fight him, he fights you back, even if he's gonna lose, and that makes you kind of scared sometimes, because when you know you're gonna win the fight and he keeps fighting you, you're gonna think something is wrong. You're gonna think he's baiting, and maybe he's alone and he's just fighting you one-on-one, and you get scared and run, and he's just gonna beat you. So I think his strength is the pressure he puts. He's not scared at all, and he's really confident about himself.
Okay, this question might sound a bit weird in how I'm going to set it up, because basically almost everything written about Fnatic in LCS this season has been like overwhelmingly positive, especially about you. And so it's made it sound like, because you were top of LCS for so long, and so everyone made it sound like, okay, Fnatic is the new best team in Europe, they're going to win LCS. But at the same time, when I was thinking of counters to that, okay, so in offline tournaments, Gambit is still like the king in Europe. Like in like best of 3 type tournaments, they've done the best, even in the IEMs. On top of that, within LCS, as we do this interview now, it's sort of like almost tied at the top, or like very similar records. But at the same time, when they've actually played you guys, they've beaten you a few times, and some of their losses are actually to giants, which most people would not have expected that to happen. So with all this in mind, do you really believe like Fnatic is the best team in LCS like now? What make a case for you being the best in LCS?
Well, I could say I wouldn't say we're the best. I could say we're the best because we only lost to Gambit pretty much, and 1 game to Copenhagen Wolves. But the thing with Gambit is I don't know how they lost to I think they underestimate maybe Giants a lot, because they lost to them 2 times. I don't know, when they play their best, they're really good. When we play them, they always have strategies, good strategies, and it's a hard team to play against. I wouldn't say we are the best, and I wouldn't say they are the best either, but I would say like we are like the top 2 right now because of the situation. EG and SK are really good as well. Like SK, we beat them always, but they play really good, and I don't know how we managed to beat them, even if the game is really close. So I will say SK is right there as well. Like with EG and SK a bit behind right now, but still we're like 4 really good teams.
Okay, it's another setup that I'll have to explain a bit. Okay, so Bjergsen, this player for the Wolves team, the problem is, like the scenario I described before, he is like considered the star of the team, but because the team was doing so bad before he came in, now that he's come in and they've done really well since then, it makes it look like he's even better, you know? And so there's a problem that I think people always have, like fans, I think it's difficult for them to know who's better out of 2 players, okay? So Alexic has all the Moscow 5 players around him, amazing team, so he's going to win more and he's going to look better. But at the same time, since Bjergsen, in theory, his team's much worse, he's going to look a lot better if he just individually carries. It looks like, wow, he did incredible, but the rest of the team messed it up, you know. Yeah. Like, how do you actually evaluate him as a player? Like, how strong actually is he, and in what areas? Like, are people overhyping him by saying, oh, I mean, some people wanted him to be the all-star guy over like Froggen, Alex, you know, guys with incredible records and everything. Like, what's a reasonable evaluation of Bjergsen?
Well, he's a really good player, but I wouldn't say he's the star of the team, because at first when they were without him, they were playing with someone else, and that guy I watched the game, and that guy was doing really good. Like one of the games he was doing great, and his team was losing the game for him. So I don't know, I wouldn't say Bjergsen was the only thing. When he first came, they still lost like every game for 2 or 3 more weeks, and we played them, and he wasn't playing that good. And I think it wasn't him, it was everyone on the team improving. Like right now, Bjergsen is not it's like their star player because of the way fans see it, but I think it's all the team. Like people don't give enough recognition to their support, for example. Their bottom lane improved a lot. They used to play worse and now they play really good. They're always doing good and never losing lanes stupidly. Same for their top laner. He used to do a bit poorly, but now he's a really annoying top lane to play against. And their jungler is, some games he has fantastic game that he camps a lane, he does really good. He plays for the early game, Of course, he tried to get mid lane, give some kills to Bjergsen, and it looks like Bjergsen is the star. But I think it's all the team doing good, not just him. He's a good player, but definitely not carrying his team alone.
So, earlier on in the conversation, we started with Season 1, and the guy who's been with you since Season 1 is Cyanide, playing jungle position. When you've played with someone a long time, like, obviously there's like a degree to which like communication becomes like super shorthand almost, like you just know what that guy's going to do and he knows when you need him to do something, etc. Like when you think of other setups in like European teams, like do you have some special advantage from playing with Cyanide? Like what does he do helping your game, you know? Like what's his speciality in that sense?
Well, I'm used to play with him a lot, as you say, so we kind of know each other. I know pretty much the way he thinks and the way he plays, and he knows the way I play and the way I think as well. I don't think we have anything like special, but just that we play a lot together and we are used to each other. So we just tell each other everything and we play together. There's no special connection or anything. Like we still have to tell each other what to do. So I don't know. He's a good player. I think the good thing he has is that he's consistent. He doesn't have like outstanding games, but he's always consistent. He has good farm. He does good ganks, and he's always useful for the team. So I don't know, I like him as a jungler because he's not like doing really bad or really good. He's always doing consistent.
You haven't actually played that many times against actual Korean teams. That's what's interesting, is because weirdly at IPL it's like you sort of dodged the Korean team because they were in the lower brackets, so you didn't have to play them basically. And so you've only really played the Koreans at like the IEM events, like in the groups, etc. When people talk about the mid lane in Korea, it actually seems like it's not as hyped as in some of the other regions. Like in Europe, everyone says the star players are all at mid. Some of the mids they have over there, it seems like they're more just like stable mid players. Like what sense do you get of Koreans? And do you watch Korean games much?
I watch them a lot. The thing, as I say, I think Asians, I say World Elite, but Asians in general, they focus more on team play and strategies than in individual plays. Like in Europe, that if maybe we don't practice as much as them as a team, or we don't know how to do it like they do, so we try to improve individually, and it comes to a point that someone might be better and do better plays, so it shines more than others. Meanwhile in Asia, they try to improve as a team together, so they don't try to make big plays, they just group as a team, they know what to do, they know how to control, and that's why no one really signs in Asia. It's like the whole team doing good, and every game is different. They say this guy did good or this guy did good, but as I said, I think their team play is just crazy compared to Europe.
If you had to pick out a Korean mid laner, is there someone who comes to mind, like this guy stands out for you, or you think he's very good?
I haven't played Koreans in that long, as you say. Like the last time I played them was IPL. We played one Korean, Asubu Blaze. That's in group stage, and they didn't do that well. We beat them. And before that, we played them in IM, so I don't know. I have no idea. I will say like Ambition is the one I want to talk about, and I watch him play, and he plays really good. But I cannot say because I haven't faced him myself many times.
Oh, okay.
Right, for my last question, I always do a hypothetical one, but I like to tailor it to the person as well. So in this version, aliens come to Earth like they always do. Okay. They threaten that they're going to blow the Earth up, but they'll give Earth a chance where you have to play in like an all-star match against the aliens. And you're going to be the captain of Team Earth, and you're going to pick the players who are going to play in this team. But here's the twist. So, first of all, you can't pick anyone from Fnatic, because unfortunately, the first thing they did when they came to Earth is obviously just kill all the Fnatic players except xPeke, make him the captain of the team. But the problem is, the one weakness the aliens have, okay, is they're really, really good at League of Legends, but they're like the best at like overall strategy and like stable player, default style. So to beat the aliens, you need to have the most unpredictable players who on their own can just do some crazy plays out of nowhere and win the game. So when you make your all-star team, you're going to play mid, but I want you to pick the other 4 players, and this is the criteria. They have to be like really good but unpredictable, so they can just come up with creative things. Who would you pick to go with you?
Okay. It doesn't matter if they don't speak English?
Any language you want. You can't be from Fnatic.
We will all speak English.
Sure.
Okay. So I guess I would pick, for jungle, I would pick Diamond. He's probably the best jungler in the world, in my opinion. For top lane, I'm not sure. Let's say bot lane first. AD carry would pick Wei Xiao from World Elite. He seems to always do super good as AD carry. He knows how to play the role really good. For support, if you say unpredictable, I guess I will pick Edward because he's the most crazy one. Like
What's unpredictable about him?
Like, you don't expect him, like normally the support is not the one taking kills and stuff, and you see him running Ignite a lot of times and just flashing on the middle of the enemy team just to pick one kill and then get away with it. This is stuff that people don't expect. He's really kind of crazy. For the top lane is the one I would have my doubts. Like, I would like sOAZ as predictable as not predictable player, because he's really weird. He's really not weird, but really unpredictable. But he's dead, so I cannot choose him. I don't know who would I pick, because I'm from America. I would like to choose some American. Maybe Boy is like the one that compared to him is more equal to him. But I don't know how old he's doing lately, because I don't watch America that much. But Boy will be my choice, I guess.
Okay.
Okay, do you have a final message, someone you want to say hello to or thank?
Yeah, thanks to all the sponsors from Fnatic and to all the fans that follow us and has been supporting us lately. Thank you a lot.
Muchas gracias.
De nada.